So, if a witch has a pot, people should immediately relate that with the cauldron in Shakespeare's Macbeth. This is what Hayao Miyazaki expects people to think. It's Shakespeare's Macbeth. It's not The Tempest or other rather minor works. It's Shakespeare's Macbeth. Everyone should have seen it. Miyazaki graduated from Gakushuin University and requires this level of knowledge from adult audiences. That's unreasonable. Even I've never seen Macbeth. I happened to join the Cinderella Castle Mystery Tour about 20 years ago. So I know what it is. Normal people won't realize this. But Miyazaki wants people to realize it. So that's why the pot repeatedly appears in the scenes with Kokiri. So this big pot is a cauldron for making witches' potions. Let's go back to this image. So the big pot is a cauldron for making witches' potions. And Kokiri, Kiki's mom, is a successor of a classic witch. But Kokiri decided to take the easy route. So for her now, the cauldron means nothing more than a dry flower container. She put in dry flowers. Like here you see, it has dry flowers in it. What happened is that Kokiri, she inherited the cauldron from her parents, but ended up using it as a container for dry flowers. And Kokiri uses the science equipment, like the flask, graduated cylinder, and dropper I mentioned, to make witch potions. So she is some slacker. Many analysis blogs and reviews on Kiki's delivery service state that Kokiri, Kiki's mom, has a peaceful life in the countryside, married a human male, and has a child. So she can be seen as a rollout model of witches, a happy upstart version. And Kiki would someday be a sweet mom like Kokiri. That's what they said. However, that's what normal people think, and not how Miyazaki sees her. Miyazaki he is more on the witch's side. I mean, he uses the magic of his anime and drawings. So, he is from a lineage of artisans. So, this Kokiri is a kind of person who failed to properly handle the cauldron. She inherited the magic pot from her witch's family and turned it into a vase for dry flowers. And she also forgot the spells she inherited. She mentions about a decrease in population and magic power of witches. Like she says it's a sign of the times. But she's wrong. She's supposed to boil herbs with the cauldron, but instead she simply uses chemicals. She takes the easy way, using a spirit flame. So she can only make rheumatism medicine, which might not even work. Only the old lady tells her that nothing works as well as her rheumatism. So Kokiri's thing is appreciated only by this old lady in the neighborhood. If you observe carefully as a witch, she's a dropout, and she blames it on the era. We listen to the character's line, and we simply accept that. But actually, Kokiri is an incompetent witch who makes mistakes quite often. Such a scene is not in the original book. Miyazaki decided to add scenes where Kokiri's spells fail, which is not in the original book. The scene where Kiki tells her she's leaving tonight and Kokiri says, "Wait!" and a thing in her hand pops up. It's depicted like a rather humorous scene where you can see the power of the spell rises along with her temper. But this just actually demonstrates her poor skills as a witch. So she restarts the procedure to make the medicine, but it's just something that the old lady would appreciate. It means her medicine is only effective to those who believe. So she can only make something effective on a placebo level. Is Kokiri ashamed of herself? Does she actually take magic seriously? The answer is no. You see in this image, like this, she extracts an herbal ingredient. Actually, she is supposed to use witch's intuition and instinct to determine the quantity. But instead, she uses this precise balance to measure the quantity in grams. That's how she makes her medicine. And behind that, This stove hasn't been used for years. This big stove in the background has not been used in quite a while. The cauldron is supposed to be hanging from there, so she did try to use it in the past, but left it unused for decades. Kokiri says that magic power is getting weaker, like it's a sign of the times. However, the actual procedure required lizard's eyes and other stuff to be boiled 3 days straight. That was so cumbersome, so she resorted to science, the easy way, and so she is forgetting the proper way of making herbs. Why did Miyazaki have to depict her like this? This episode is not in the original book. He did not have to draw in the cauldron. It's not in the book, but he just had to because it represents what Miyazaki felt as a very serious problem. Many animators are getting good at computers for convenience sake. They simply sample live actions. Like they sample the movement from a movie of an actual animal to make realistic animated movements of the animal. They didn't spend enough time on sketch practice since they were kids, so they can't draw a four-legged animal with proper perspective. So they can't even draw simple actions properly. This situation of new animators, Miyazaki had seen it through interactions with these young animators. They're what Kiki's mom, Kokiri, represents. That's who she is. People say that it's a sign of the times. Some say it's just natural because they grew up with videos and because CGI is growing so much. Miyazaki saw a rapid loss of the animation techniques passed on from the time when he was working in toy animation, the time of Natsuzora, like it was a tradition only passed down to their heirs. And 1989 is marked as a huge transitional period. So this Kokiri, the mother, is depicted to be accepted as, how should I put it, an ideal mom to those nice Ghibli fans. She's depicted as a kind and wonderful mother figure. But Miyazaki, an artisan in the lineage of witches or wizards, can clearly see the flaws of Mother Kokiri. As an artisan, she is extremely incompetent. Miyazaki sees her that way. Kiki's dad, Okino, tells his daughter when she is leaving. You can always come home if things don't work out. He hugs Kiki while he says it. There is a book called Roman Album for Kiki's Delivery Service. In this book, Miyazaki mentions this line, saying, "What kind of father is he?" He just denounces this father like that. I mean, we see this father saying kindly, "You can always come home if things don't work out." And there is this mother who doesn't go tough on her. And she says something like, "I can only make medicine and fly." And my daughter Kiki ended up being only capable of flying. This easygoing attitude does show her as a kind mother figure. However, Miyazaki denounces them for saying things like, "You can always come home if things don't work out," to their child, to deprive the daughter of a chance to grow up and stand on her own feet. So, as an artist, the animator Hayao Miyazaki sees Kiki's parents as modern parents who spoil their children. So, the world of Kiki's Delivery Service, according to Miyazaki, can be automatically translated as follows. A girl raised by no good parents who cannot properly raise their children. Now, she can only think about herself, always thinking of what people can do for her instead of what she can do for other people. The only way for such a spoiled brat to be independent is to be stronger than her parents. She faces so many challenges to be stronger than her parents, to stand up. It's not about a girl becoming a decent witch. It's about becoming a decent person and not a decent witch. Miyazaki was trying to make a film about a woman training herself to be a decent person. So we can see that Miyazaki was trying to make a rather over-the-top anti-fantasy. I mean, it's just, the concept is just completely opposite of Harry Potter. It's not about becoming a better wizard, but a better person. That explains why Gigi ceases to speak to Kiki around the ending.